Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am doing drawer number 2. We did drawer number 1 last time, so now we're on to drawer number 2. Now there's a lot of products in here, and so I'm going to basically split this drawer down the middle, and I'm going to do this section for this video and this section for next video, because otherwise we'd be here forever. But in this drawer here, I keep my bronzers, blushes, current eyeshadow palettes that I'm working through and that I'm trying out. And then on this side, we have our brows, our mascara, and then all of our other eyeliners and other eye products over here. But again, for this video, we're gonna stick to this section over here. So let's go ahead and get into it. So for bronzers over here, I do have my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. I am trying to use this up in my project pan. I've hit quite a bit of pan on this one, and so I'm trying to use this one up during the summer. I love this one. It's a great drugstore option and it smells amazing. So I highly recommend this one. This is the regular bronzer shade. This was before they came out with the different shades of bronzers. Now I do already have a backup of this one lower down in my drawers, but I absolutely love this bronzer. Next, I have the Ulta Matte Bronzer, and this is in the cool shade. They do have it in a warm shade as well. I really like this one too. It's nice and subtle. It goes on beautifully on the skin. It's not patchy. I can start to kind of see the ripples of the pan through that, so I'm kind of curious how much product is actually in here, but I do find myself reaching for this one a whole lot. So whenever Ulta puts their items on sale and you guys are interested in another like drugstore priced bronzer, this one is another really good option. Next, I have a sample size of the Tarte Park Avenue Princess Bronzer. I don't use this one as much. It does have a little bit of a glow to it, and it is a little bit deeper than some of the other bronzers that I have, but I do think that this one goes on beautifully. It blends beautifully. I really do enjoy this one. I don't feel like it's too dark for my skin tone, but it does have a little bit of that shimmer in it. Next, we have a mini size of the Smashbox Contour Palette. I haven't used this in a while, but I really do enjoy this. The cream colored shade is very pigmented, and the bronzer shade, I don't really use the bronzer shade a whole lot. I use the contour shade more often, but I do think that these powders are beautiful. If I do a stronger contour, I do like to go in with the contour shade here. I think I got this in a kit with like a smaller size of the Photo Focus Primer Water, and so if you guys see this go back on sale for this mini size, I mean, I will never go through this whole thing, so the mini size is really all you need. I'll do my other small one before I go into my NARS ones. I do have a little sample size too of the Benefit Hoola Bronzer. I think that this is like, I'll never go through this either, but this is just beautiful, and there's a reason that everybody loves the Hoola Bronzer. I can contour with this too because it does have a little bit more of a grayer undertone and it's not so orange, so I really enjoy this. I thought about buying the larger size of this, but really it's going to take me forever to go through this little size. And again, I believe I got this in one of the kits that they did, or I ended up getting this as like a perk, like one of the Sephora Points perks, so I highly recommend this one. Really, I don't have any bronzers that I absolutely hate, so I'm going to be recommending pretty much all of these because I think I did another declutter before, even before I started my YouTube channel, and I got rid of a lot of bronzers that I did not enjoy, but the Benefit Hoola one is also a really good one. Now I have two different NARS bronzers. Let me go with this one first. So this is just the regular NARS Laguna bronzer, and I picked this up whenever it was on sale at Ulta. This does have a tiny bit of shimmer to it as well, but it is a beautiful bronzer. I think that I love the way that this one goes on the best, and I mean, this is a cult classic for a reason. I really enjoy this one. Before I picked up the Laguna bronzer from NARS, I did have this one before, and this is one of their like sun-kissed bronzers, and this one is in Seaside. Now this one was used on me during one of like my Sephora makeovers, and I really enjoyed it, but this has a harder pan to it, so it took me a while to kind of get down in there and get onto the product. And I think that if you are just starting out with bronzers and you want a high-end bronzer, then this is kind of the way to go, because really you can go hard into this pan with your brush, and you really have to build up the product. It is a hard pressed powder. So again, I've kind of worked through, it had like this imprinted groove pattern, and once you get through that, it gets a little bit softer, but again, it's a little bit more of an orangey tone to it, but I really enjoy this one too. So if I ever want a soft bronze, this is what I am reaching for. But if I had to pick between the Sunlit bronzer and the regular Laguna bronzer, I would go with the Laguna one time and time again. So next we have the blush section, and I love blush, and that is why it is absolutely packed full. I think I will declutter a couple of these as we go along, but I guess I can start with the first one, which is the Color Icon Wet n Wild Blush in Pearlescent Pink. This is supposed to be your dupe for the NARS Orgasm. It is just a very pretty color. It does have sparkle in it, but I really enjoy this. It's very, very pigmented. A little bit of this goes a long way, so you just have to be a little bit light-handed, but it has that beautiful kind of gold shift to it. Next, we have the blush that I actually wore today, which is the Benefit Dallas blush, and I actually bought this because Jessica over at Jam Beauty recommended this one, but it is just a beautiful, almost bronzy shade blush, but it has a little bit of shimmer to it, and it just, whenever I don't want to bronze my face, I just add a little bit of this. It does come off a little bit pinker on my skin tone because it is looking very, very bronzy here, but I absolutely love this one. I love, love, love this one. I have 3 of these Tarte minis. I do really, really enjoy the Tarte Amazonian Clay Blush formula. I have them in Ornate. I have this one in Concept, and then this one in Party. This was the birthday gift from Sephora, but I think Party is the closest to like a nice nude shade. These you can go in a little bit harder with them. They do have pigment to them, but they're very, very forgiving. Ornate is very pink and it's very bold, and so I use this one with a very light hand, but this one is the one that I use the least. I use Party and Concept the most, and so these 3 here. Concept is kind of really up my alley with that nice peachy tone, but I really enjoy this formula. I think the full sizes of these are close to $30. And I know I paid a lot for my NARS bronzers, but paying $30 for a blush kind of hurts. And so I pick up these minis whenever I see them in kits, and I absolutely love them. Speaking of ridiculously expensive blushes, this one here is from Hourglass, and I don't want to blind you with the packaging, but this is in Mood Exposure. It's more of a purpley tone. But I love the way that this goes on the cheeks. I love the way that this one looks. It is just beautiful. It does have a mixture of one of the ambient powders in here, which kind of gives you that like candlelit glow from within. I really, really do enjoy the Hourglass formula, and if I ever wanted to buy more high-end blushes, I would go ahead and pick up more of the Hourglass ones. Moving on to a little bit more affordable, I do have 2 of the e.l.f. blushes. This one here is in Candid Coral, and this one is in Mellow Mauve. I think that these were supposed to be dupes for NARS blushes as well. This one's kind of strange because, well, before I did my finger swatch, it kind of pitted a little bit. Like, it has a rough texture to it. So I don't know if these necessarily are the best formula-wise. They do stay on the skin nicely. This one's in Mellow Mauve. See, this one doesn't have the like e.l.f. imprinted in it, and it's a much smoother powder. So I don't know if this one is a different formula compared to this one. It's even different packaging. So, but I do like these if you are looking for a decent blush formula at a drugstore price. I believe those are $4 each. They do have some nice coloration to them. You do have to build them up a little bit, and both of these do have a tiny bit of like shimmer to them. Then we have this one from Pretty Vulgar, and again, I don't want to blind you guys with the packaging, but this one we ended up getting in a BoxyCharm. This one is in Make Me Blush number 18 Hush Blush. This is the one that is like hella pigmented, and so this one I go in with my dual fiber brush, and I really just very lightly put this one on. But I do really enjoy this formula. I enjoy the staying power of this one, and so I am hanging on to this one. Then we have these two from the drugstore. I have a CoverGirl True Blend Blush, and this one is in, I think this one is in Rose, Light Rose. And these are kind of like a domed baked blush. They do have like a swirl of like gold in there, and so they will have a little bit of a shimmer to them. It's a little bit more of an icy toned blush. I actually really do enjoy this one. I think the formula is nice, the way it goes on the cheeks is nice, so I am going to hang on to this one. And then this one here is one of the Milani powder blushes, and this one is in number 8 Tea Rose, and it has like the beautiful like rose imprint on it. And this is actually the one that I think I'm going to declutter, just because like once you get past that kind of like smooth part of the rose imprint, the actual like powder is very rough and very patchy. I mean, just look how patchy that swatch is. And so I've not been impressed the last couple times I've used this as far as how it goes on the skin. So I am going to go ahead and declutter this Milani blush. And last but not least in the blushes is the newest one to my collection, and this is one of the Morphe blush trios, and this one is in Pop of Peach. This is what it looks like in here. I absolutely am obsessed with this. And so I have the one with Maker, Creator, and Influencer. They're a little bit powdery, especially that Influencer one. But just look at that. Look at that. The pigmentation is beautiful. So the Maker and Influencer have a little bit of a shine to them. Creator in the center is a matte blush. The pigmentation is beautiful. The way that these go on the skin is beautiful. The way they blend is beautiful. They wear all day. And so I'm really, really impressed with the new Morphe trios. And this is $12 at Ulta. And I ended up getting it for like $9.20 with a coupon. So if you've been looking for a new drugstore priced blush formula to try, I highly recommend the Morphe ones. All right, and now we are on to the current eyeshadow palettes and singles that I am trying to work through. So let me go ahead and start off by the Wet n Wild single in Creme Brulee. I hit pan on it. I think I'm just going to throw this into my project pan to use up this one because I already do have another one waiting in the wings, but it's just a nicely pigmented cream colored matte shadow that I use to lay down my eyelid primer or set down. If I bring concealer up onto my eyelids, I set it down with this every single day. I think these are like $1.19, $1.29 at Walmart, so you cannot beat the price for this shadow. Then I have some ColourPop Super Shock shadows in here. I have this one in Deep Dive. I don't use this one as often, but it is a beautiful, beautiful shade. I have this one here in Birthday Cake. I use this one more often because it is that pretty like pink shimmery shade. I have the shade in Sequin, which again is just one of those beautiful, beautiful, almost like rose gold shades. And then the last one in here is Twitter Pated, which is my newest addition to my Super Shock shadows, and it's just a light pink with shimmer into it. I really do like putting these as a pop of shimmer on my lids, and I love the formula of these. Now my hand is nice and coated in glitter, but I do have one of the Maybelline Color Tattoos, and this one is in Creamy Beige. I use this one to kind of set down my lid as an eyeshadow primer at times. I'm trying to see if this is maybe a dupe for one of the MAC paint pots, just for the staying power of my eyeshadows. Next, I am working on two of my Smashbox Cover Shot eyeshadow palettes. I have this one in Ablaze, which is very beautiful warm tones. I really enjoy using this orange right here and this gold. I mean, they're beautiful, beautiful shadows. A little bit powdery, but I really do like the formula on these. And then this one here is the Sultry palette, and this just has more cool tones and more purples. I tried using this as like my purple palette for a while, but I think that I like my ColourPop purple palette because you end up with smoky looks pretty much every single time with this one. But this does actually have a really pretty like shimmery shade that I also really like. putting on the lid and also on the inner corner. Again, these are a little bit powdery, not my favorite formula to work with, but I'm trying to work through them. I ended up getting those in a holiday set, and I'm just trying to get a little bit more use out of them. But if I was to pick between the two, I would go with the Blaze palette because it's just more up my alley with the warm tones. So this palette here is the Tarte Clay Play Face Shaping Palette Volume 1. This constantly lives in this drawer. I never take this and move it down or put it in the rotation because I use this palette every single day. It does have a nice size mirror, and I'll try not to blind you guys, but everything in here is matte, and I pretty much go in with this shade Desert every single time in my crease to lay down a crease color. But these are just so nice and smooth and nicely pigmented. And I mean, I just love them. Even these like bone shades are wonderful. It has a nice matte black in it. I mean, just, it's beautiful. And so I go in with this palette every single morning, and it smells like vanilla. I don't know why they discontinued this one. The new one, actually, it has a shade called Desert in it, but that is the shade that they're calling their blush, and so it's a totally different shade in Volume 2 than it is in Volume 1. But like I said, this one lives in my collection up here. I love this one. Then we have the new Alamod Cosmetics palette that we ended up getting in a BoxyCharm. I did a complete, review and eye look on this palette. I haven't used it since last week because I've just not been kind of into doing flashy makeup looks, but these shimmers are absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous. Now, I did in my review, I said that, this shade wore off by the end of the day and kind of creased, but I also really, really enjoy using these two shades here. A little bit of dog hair, doesn't hurt anybody. But yeah, those shades are just beautiful, and the mattes are really nice too. So overall, I do really like this palette. The blues might need a little bit more of a stickier primer to last all day, but overall, I've really been enjoying this palette. You guys can check out my BoxyCharm unboxing for more information on this and kind of how I feel about the layout and the packaging, but overall, it's a really, really nice palette. That blue straight up stained my skin a little bit, so everything might have a little bit more of a blue tint on my arm. Next we have the Sugar palette from Face Candy, and this is the palette from the Shop Hush app. That's kind of the dupe for the Sweet Peach palette. I have been using this one a whole lot more. I love this like green shadow down here. I've absolutely been loving that one. Just all of these shimmers are just beautiful, and so mostly I go in there for the shimmers because I mean, come on, look at those, they're beautiful. And so I love playing in this palette. It $10 on the Shop Hush app, totally worth it. I'm thinking about placing another order with Shop Hush to get another palette and some other stuff from them, but again, I've been really, really enjoying this palette. Great quality for a $10 palette. Then down here I have the BH Cosmetics Weekend Festival palette. I haven't been using this one as much because again, these are the shades in there. It's very, very loud and bright, but I do really like going in with Trixie and Magical and Solstice and Flash and Spirit. I've been really going in with those. Boho is another really nice one to go in with, just kind of on everyday looks. The shimmers in here cannot be beat. I mean, look at those. They are absolutely beautiful. And so this is a very, very nice eyeshadow formula. The mattes are also really, really pretty and really, really pigmented. I don't think that this one is sold anymore. If it is, I think it's pretty much only on the BH Cosmetics website, but this I think was a limited edition run during the whole festival season earlier this year. But as far as like this ticks all my boxes for colorful eyeshadows if I ever want to go in with a colorful look. Last two items in here are two of my Stila Glitter and Glows. I did get the like mini set of these around the holidays. I have it in Kitten Karma. which is a little bit of a pinky shade. Now these do have more like of a chunky glitter formula. I do see that I have a lot of glitter fallout with these that I kind of have to do my eyes first. This one should be Rose Gold Retro, but I mean, they have such nice pigmented like bases to them that you really do get that color that comes through, but they do have a little bit more of a chunky glitter formula. There is a third one that comes with this that is in my lower drawers that I don't wear as often, but I really just love these two shades to kind of pop on the lid because come on, look at that shine. It is absolutely amazing. So that is everything for my bronzers, my blush, and then my current eyeshadow palettes that I am trying out. The only thing that I'm decluttering is this blush from Milani that I'm not a big fan of. Next video, we will go ahead and go over everything on this side of the drawer. These little dividers are just from the dollar store. Like they come like 3 of these for $1, 3 of these for $1, things like that. But I mean, they fit in perfectly into the IKEA Alex drawers. But that is all I have for this side of drawer number 2. If you like the style of video, go ahead and give me a big old thumbs up. Let me know out of everything I went over today, what is your favorite item? And if you think that I'm absolutely missing something important from my collection, leave me a comment down below of what item you absolutely love that you think that I am missing so I can go ahead and check that out. Don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell so you know whenever I upload new videos, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!